And once, of course, you guys do this, the concept of TV everywhere, well, actually just becomes TV. When do you think the wow factor from TV everywhere, that will just be business as usual? Again, final question, when does the phrase become accepted to the point of being meaningless?
Wow. Again, I'll go back to the fact that it's an education. And I think you really got to market this stuff properly. I think operators and MSOs have got to market this as being a solution, and they've got to make it viable for consumers. And that's got to be a pretty healthy proposition. That means that users don't necessarily have to pay twice, and all the other bits that we've talked about today. I think as long as it's marketed right, I think TV everywhere will be pretty soon.
And pretty soon, years?
I think a couple of years, and I think it'll be fueled by things like 4G. I think infrastructure, which we haven't talked about particularly a lot, has always been a barrier. Operators have always been scared, if you look at mobile, about data and about consumption of data and how that affects their pipes, etc.
And who owns the customer?
Right, absolutely. I think things like 4G, and Ofcom recently said something about Scotland trialling or looking at licensing for that, will open the doors. And we've seen evidence of that when we did a deal with Verizon, where we're going to launch Sling as an OEM subscription-based service on their 4G network.
So is that the timescale, a couple of years or two?
Yeah, I think I'd just like to point to an observation of the mobile industry when they, there's a lot of innovative work went on mobile broadcasting, the DVB-H standard, and what we found was that didn't take off to the huge sort of adoption rates people were expecting for a couple of reasons. Firstly, in my mind, the technology wasn't ready, the base state, and secondly that the fact that piecemeal division of content amongst a number of providers is very difficult to manage, and a few big operators in creating healthy competition and innovation, they can channel that content to many devices, and therefore the value chain isn't spread so thinly, and so therefore they can make a compelling service on a number of devices. And you have you'll have widespread adoption then, and I think broadband initiatives that are taking place with the announcements we've just heard recently, and they're going across developed worlds, etc., and the 4G licenses, etc. TV everywhere could, it's here today in a limited form, but 5 years time. I hope
5 years at least. Is that too long?
Well, I think it depends on the market. In the US, TV everywhere is a reality today through something like Hulu, but there's a major caveat to that. Although they have a great service with lots of different content providers, they don't have all the content providers. So that's TV everywhere except for my favorite channel, potentially. So I think pay TV operators are really ideally positioned, if allowed, to turn all of their channels into a TV everywhere experience, to really provide the true TV everywhere, instead of a consumer having to download the 10 applications that I was talking about or going to 7 different websites in order to see what they want to see. They need a single portal, and that single portal should come most likely from a trusted party who already is their primary content provider, and that's their pay TV operator.
So I guess, guys, to wrap up, we're really TV everywhere 1.0, and we could all be back here next
1.5.
1.5.
Beta.
Well, maybe this time next year we'll be here talking about TV everywhere 2.0. But whatever, I hope you've enjoyed our round table and found it informative and entertaining in equal measure. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.